Poetry is when an emotion has found its thought and the thought has found words by Robert Frost. Hello everyone, respected our principal ma'am Simple Sire, esteemed judges, teachers and my dear students under British Council ISA activity Litcomania due to lockdown. I, Priyadarshini Ujjankar, feel exceedingly proud and privileged to announce and start poem recitation competition organized by Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School, Dhankaudi, Pune. Recitation is one of the important and effective modes of learning a language and appreciating a piece of literature. Taking all these facts into consideration, the students get an opportunity to exhibit their talent and confidence. Now I request our first contestant Manushri Jadhav. The name of the poem Rising Sun, written by John Donne from Renaissance era.
Hello everyone, hope all of you are safe and healthy. During this lockdown due to COVID 19 under British Council ISA activity Litcomania, I am presenting a poem under recitation competition. Myself, Manushri Vaishali Vijay Jadhav. I am student of Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School, Dhankaudi, Pune, studying in class 9th Division C. The name of the poem which I am going to recite is The Sun Rising. Written by an English poet and scholar, John Donne. He belongs to the Renaissance era of 16th century. This poem is a love poem, wherein the sun is personified as busy old fool. The poem is full of witty conceits and unbeatable logics of John Donne. Now, let's see what the poet writes. Busy old fool, unruly sun, why dost thou thus, through windows and through curtains, call on us? Must to thy motions lover's season run? Saucy pedantic wreck go chide, late school boys and sore prentices. Go tell court huntsmen that the king will ride. Call country ants to harvest offices. Love all alike, no season knows, nor clime, nor hours, days, months, which are rags of time. Thy beams so reverent and strong, why shouldest thou think I could eclipse and cloud them with a wink? But that I would not lose her sight so, if her eyes have not blinded thine. Look, and tomorrow late, tell me whether both the Indias of spice and mine be where thou left'st them, or lie here with me. Ask for those kings whom thou sawest yesterday, and thou shalt hear, all here in one bedly. She is all states and all princes, I nothing else is. Princes do but play us compared to this. All honors mimic, all wealthy alchemy. The sun, art, half as happy as we, in that worlds contracted thus. Thine age ask ease, and since thy duties be to warm the world, that's done in warming us. Shine here to us, and thou art everywhere. This bed thy center is, these walls thy spear. Thank you.
Now I request our next contestant, Diksha Patil. Name of the poem, Ice and Fire, written by Edmund Spenser from era Elizabethan.
Hello, under British Council ISA activity Litcomania due to lockdown, I am presenting my poem under recitation competition. My name is Diksha Patil and I am from class 8th. My school name is Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School, Dhankaudi, Pune. My poem name is Ice and Fire, which is written by famous writer Edmund Spenser, who is from Elizabethan period. Before starting my poem, I would like to say a theme. My love is like to ice and I to fire by Edmund Spenser describes the contradictory and complementary personalities of the speaker and his lover. The poem begins with the speaker stating that he is like fire and his lover is like ice. Although they are different from one another, their love is strong. Now I would like to start my poem. My love is like to ice and I to fire. How come it then that her so cold, so great, is not dissolved through my so hot desire, but harder grows the more I her entreat? Or how come it that my exceeding heat is not allayed by her heart frozen cold, but that I burn much more in boiling sweat, and feel my flames augmented manifold? What miraculous things may be told, that fire, which all things melt, should harden ice, and ice, which is congealed with senseless cold, should kindle fire by wonderful devices. Such is the power of love in a gentle mind, that it can alter all the course of kind. Badman Spencer. Thank you.
Now I request Disha Suryavanshi. The poem name is Epigram from Wall Street, written by Edgar Allan Poe from era Romantic.
Hello. Under the British Council ISA activity Mania, due to lockdown, I am here to present the poem for recitation competition. Myself, Disha Sandeep Suryavanshi from class 8B, studying in Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School, Dhankaudi, Pune. Today, I am going to recite the poem that is Epigram for the Wall Street, written by the famous poet Edgar Allan Poe. He was an American poet, journalist and critic from 1809 to 1849. The poem was firstly published in the New York newspaper and it was been accepted to be written by Poe. The starting of the poem is the question and the ending of the poem is the solution for the problem. It also gives us a memorable aspect that is satirical aspect. It is a humorous poem which gives us a simple message. Now I will recite my poem. Epigram for the Wall Street. I'll tell you a plan for gaining wealth better than banking, trade or leases. Take a banknote and fold it up and you will find your money increases. This wonderful plan, without danger or loss, keeps your cash in your hands where nothing can trouble it. And every time you fold it across, it is as plain as the light of the day, you double it. Thank you.
Now I request our next contestant, Aryan Kudre. Name of the poem, Morning at the Window, written by E.S. Eliot from Modern Era.
Hello. Under the British Council ISA activity, due to lockdown, I am expressing my poem under the poem recitation competition. My name is Aryan Sanjay Kudle. I am studying in 8B. My school's name is Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School. My poem's name is Morning at the Window. Poet of this poem is Thomas Eliot. This poem belongs to a modern era. I would like to express the theme of this poem. This poem represents the poverty in the slums. This poem represents poverty, misery, and sad and bad conditions in the slums. They have no food to eat, no clothes to wear. The poet also expresses this poem in sad mood. Now I would like to start my poem, Morning at the Window. There are rattling breakfast plates in the basement kitchens and along the trampled edges of the street. I am aware of the damp souls of the housemaids sprouting despondently at the area gates. The brown waves of fog toss up to me, twisted faces from the bottom of the street, and tear from a passerby with muddy skirts, an aimless smile that hovers in the air and vanishes along the levels of the roof. Thank you.
Now I request our next contestant, Samruddhi Sulake. The name of the poem is I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, written by William Wordsworth from Romantic Era.
Hello, under British Council ISA activity, Lit Go Mania. Due to lockdown today, I am going to represent my poem under recitation competition. Myself, Samruddhi Ravindra Sulake, and I am from class 9th B from Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School, Dhankavdi, Pune. The name of my poem is I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, written by the poet William Wordsworth. This poem belongs to the Romantic era. This poem is picturized in the main theme of nature's beauty that uplifts the human spirit. This whole poem is powers of imagination. This poem, written by William Wordsworth, it's a romantic poem where we find the romance with nature, which is done by poet William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats high over vales and hills. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, continuous as the stars that shine in the Milky Way. They stretched in a never-ending line along the margin of a bay, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. 10,000 I saw at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. The poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth does the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in passive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Shreyas Patil. Poem name is The Tree, written by Philip Larkin from Anti-Romantic Era.
Hello, under British Council ISA activity Litcomania due to lockdown, I am presenting my poem under residential competition. Myself, Shresh Udayakumar Patil from Standard 8B. I am from Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School, Dhankavdi, Pune. My poem name is The Tree by Philip Larkin. In the poem, the poet expresses his attitude of envy, which then changes to admiration for the tree. The theme of immortality, age renewal, are explored through imaginary metaphor and repetition, which conveys Larkin attitude toward the immortality of the trees. The poem is as follows: The tree. The trees are coming into leaf, like something almost been said. The recent buds relax and spread. The greenness is a kind of grief. Is it that they are born again and we grow old? No, they die too. The yearly trick of looking new is written down in the rings of grain, yet still the unwrestling castle crest in the fully grown thickness every May. Last year is dead. They seem to say, begin afresh, afresh, afresh. But the poem is written by Philip Larkin. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Tanishka Potre. Poem name is Immortality, written by Matthew Arnold from Victorian era.
Under British Council ISA activity Lit Comenia due to lockdown, I am going to represent poem under recitation competition. Myself, Tanishka Suresh Portray from class 9B, studying in Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School, Dhankavdi, Pune. I am going to recite poem Immortality by Matthew Arnold. The poet belonged to Victorian era. The ability to live forever is immortality. The poem seems fairly straightforward to life after death and existence of it. Maybe he is writing about this because he is close to dying or someone he cares about is close to dying. Here the poem is. Foiled by our fellow men, depressed outfall. We leave the brutal world to take its way, and patience in another life we see. The world shall be thrust down and be upborn, and will not then the immortal army scorn the world's poor rooted livings, or will they fail under the heaven heavenly morn? No, no, the energy of life may be kept on after the grave, but not beneath. And he who flagged not in the earthly strife, from strength to strength advancing, only he. his soul well knit, and all his battles won, mounts, and they hardly to external life. So this poem gave us the message that only those whose energies and strengths are worthy to the mortal world will continue to immortality. Thank you.
Now our next contestant is Samruddhi Naikwadi. The name of poem is The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost from American Era.
Hello, under British Council as activity Litcomania due to lockdown. I'm presenting my poem under recitation competition. Myself Samruddhi Nandak Manaikavadi from 9th A Bharati Vidyapit English Medium School, Dhankavadi, Pune. My poem name is The Road Not Taken, written by the poet Robert Frost. The poem is picturized on the main theme of the road that symbolize our life. The important message that poet wants to give is that we make choices that has an impact on our future. So if a choice goes wrong, we should regret it, but we cannot go back to it. The poem belongs to the American era. The road not taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood and looked down once as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other just as fair and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as far that the passing there had worn them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves, no steps had trodden black. Oh, I kept first for the another day, yet knowing how we lead on to the way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sign somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a road, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Thank you.
Now our next contestant, Yatharth Tripathi. Poem name is Success is Counted Sweetest, written by Emily Dickinson from Modern Era.
Good morning everyone. Under British Council ISA activity Litcomania, due to lockdown I am presenting my poem under recitation competition. My name is Yatharth Tripathi. I am studying in 9th B. I am the student of Bharati Vidyapit English Medium School, Dhankavadi, Pune. My poem name is The Success is Counted Sweetest by Emily Dickinson. The poem belongs to the modern era. The poem was published in 1864. Emily Dickinson uses great images of a winning army and a dying soldier to illustrate that only those who have experienced defeat can understand and acknowledge the real value of success. The title of the poem conveys how somebody can truly feel success. Normally, when somebody is considered an underdog, their success is greater and more powerful to experience because they really know how it feels to be on the losing side. The success is valued for those who have failed. The speaker uses dying soldiers as someone who longed for success but could not grasp it. When people truly desire something and cannot retrieve it, their desire for it becomes greater. Dickinson communicates the idea that failure is the motivation to success. The success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. To comprehend a nectar requires sorest need. Not all the purple host who took the flag today can tell the definition so clear of victory as he defeated time on whose forbidden year. The distant strains of triumph burst agonized and clear. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Charu Shimla. Name of the poem is Ozymandias, written by Percy Bysshe Shelley from Romantic Era.
Hello. Under British Council ISA activity Litcomania due to lockdown, today I am presenting my poem in poem recitation competition. Myself, Charu Ramakant Singla, studying in class 8th A from Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School, Dhankavadi, Pune. My poem name is Ozymandias. The This is a famous poem written by Percy Bysshe Shelley. The poem is from Romantic era. The theme of the poem is straightforward and highly traditional. Basically, the poem is a sonnet and reminds powerful people that their power is temporary. However much powerful people may wish to think that their power is immortal, but they are only deceiving themselves. Now, I would like to start with my poem. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lips and sneer of cold command tell that its sculpture well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things. The hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, yea, mighty and despair. Nothing beside remains round the decay of the colossal, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. Thank you.
Next contestant is a Smith Sahu. The name of the poem is Where the Mind is Without Fear, written by Rabindranath Tagore from Bengali Renaissance.
Hello. Under British Council ISA activity Lead Comanian due to lockdown, I am representing my poem under recitation competition. Myself, Asmit Sahu, student of class 8C from the school of Partidapit English Medium High School, Rangodi, Pune. The poem's name is Where the Mind is Without Fear. It was written by our famous and known poet Rabindranath Tagore, which belongs to the Bengal Renaissance era. In this poem, he urges to the god to awake his fellow beings for the realization of the essential need to live in a free country. He wants his countrymen to awake and live full of dignity and honor. Thus, this poem is pre-independent. I want to start my poem. The poem is as follows: where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not broke into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of the truth, where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has lost its ways into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into every widening thought and action into the heaven of freedom. My father led my country away. Thank you for listening my speech patiently.
Our next contestant is Maithili Mania. The name of the poem is The Fly, written by William Blake from Romantic era.
Hello and Namaste. Under British Council IS activity due to lockdown, I am presenting my poem under recitation competition. I am Maithili Mahesh Kumar Mane, studying in class 8A, Bharati Vidyapit, English Medium High School, Dhankaudi, Pune. My poem name is The Fly, written by a famous poet William Blake. From age of 12 onwards, he started making poems. His poem The Fly was published in the year 1794 in a collection known as Songs of Experience. In the collection there were 26 poems. The theme of my poem is that we don't have control over our life or death. So thinking about the future and fearing makes us feel sad and joyless. Hence, we should accept our life, enjoy our day and live as much we can. In the poem, William Blake compares his life to that of a fly, which he happens to kill unintentionally. And finally, he advises the man that We should enjoy our everyday like a fly, because no one knows when the God will take away our life. Hence, He is trying to teach us that we should always enjoy our everyday like a fly. So, let's start our poem, The Fly. Little fly, the summer's play. My thoughtless hand has brushed away. Am not I a fly like thee, or not thou a man like me? For I dance and drink and sing, till some blind hand shall brush my wing. If the thought is life and strength and breath, and the want of thought is death, then am I a happy fly, if I live or if I die. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.
Our next contestant is Mangesh Gumaste. The name of the poem is Weather, written by Thomas Hardy from Romantic Era.
Hello everyone, my name is Mangesh Gumaste. I am studying in class 8. I am from Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School. Today, under British Council ISA activity, Litcomania, due to lockdown, I am presenting my poem under recitation competition. My poem's name is Weathers by Thomas Hardy. The poem Weathers, written by English poet Thomas Hardy, talks about the two different seasons, which are winter and spring. The first half of the poem talks about the spring season when nestlings fly, and the second part of the poem deals with the dullness of winter and cold, damp and wet weather. The poem is as follows. This is the weather cuckoo likes, and so do I. When shower bitumber and chestnut spikes and nestlings fly, and the little brown nightingale builds his best, and they sit outside at the traveller's rest, and maids come forth, come muslin dressed, and citizens dream of south and west. And so do I, this is the weather shepherd chuns, and so do I, when beaches drip down and duns, and hill high tides throw and throw, and meadow rivulets overflow, and drops on gate bars hang in a row, and rooks in families homeward go, and so do I. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Shripurna Patil. The name of the poem is Praying, written by Mary Oliver from Natural World.
Under British Council ISA activity Mania, due to lockdown, I am presenting my poem under recitation competition. Myself Sri Purna Patil, studying in 9th B from Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School, Pune. My poem name is Praying, wrote by Mary Oliver. I will introduce my poem first. Prayer to many in a secular age has become a dirty word. Prayer is a constant that runs through all human civilization, and it's there for a reason. In this poem, Mary Oliver reminds us that we are all in need a doorway into thanks and a way of relating to the world without our egos. Now I will recite my poem. Praying. It doesn't have to be the blue iris, it could be the weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention, then patch a few words together and don't try to make them elaborate. This is not a contest but the doorway into thanks and the silence in which another voice may speak. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Pranjal Zadav. The name of the poem, The Dove, written by John Keats from Romantic Era.
Hello, under the British Council ISA activity Mania, due to lockdown, I am presenting my poem under recitation competition. My name is Pranjal Zadav from class 8A, and my school name is Bharati Vidyapit English Medium High School, Dhankavadi, Pune. My poem name is The Dove, and poet's name is John Keats. He is the famous writer in the Romantic age. Now, before starting the poem, I will say a short theme on my poem. The theme is when the poet speaks about the death of the dove, He refers to the end of feeling of love for this person. Really, this person didn't die, just gave up to love him. In this poem, poet believes that the dove and his love died because of grief. It can be produced because of him. Now I will recite my poem. The dove. I had a dove and the sweet dove died, and I have thought it died of grieving. Oh, what could it grieve for? Its feet were tied with the silken thread of my own hands weaving. Sweet little red feet, why should you die? Why would you leave me, sweet bird? Why? You lived alone in the forest tree. Why, pretty thing, would you not live with me? I kissed you oak and gave you white peas. Why not live sweetly as in the green trees? Thank you for listening my poem.
Thank you, Pranjal Jadhav. Excellent performance. Now, I would especially like to thank our principal ma'am for guiding us to make this competition successful. The judges appreciated and applauded the performance of the participants. All the concerned teachers who guided the students from time to time when required. Last but not least, the students who participated in the competition to make it a successful one in the period of lockdown. Thank you to one and all.